Hey friends, this is Danny, Triple H Farm. It's early morning. Well, not too early. It's about 7 o'clock. Been up for a little while this morning, but decided to take it easy and drink my coffee and relax a little bit. Thought I'd show you guys a little garden tour this morning. Don't get too excited. The garden's still nothing majestic this year. I've had a lot of issues and a lot of things that have pulled us away from the garden this year, as I've mentioned in the last few videos, but nonetheless, we still have garden. We're still getting some good produce. Nice big beautiful tomatoes we're starting to get. um, just not near the quantity we normally have. um, yep, one of the young roosters is crowing this morning, but just a nice peaceful morning. Had a cup of coffee already. Thought I'd come out and do a little walk around and show you guys what we got going on. This is our pepper patch. We've got some peppers planted in these tubs. We've got jalapenos. We've got some bell peppers. We've got mucho nacho peppers, which is what these are. And they're actually packing some heat. We've picked several of them. And I've ate a few. I've taken some to work, and my guys at work that like the heat, they say they're pretty hot. So guess we're doing something right there. We'll walk out here and look at the weed patch, formerly known as the garden. But, here's our little raised bed that we built last year. These are our volunteer zinnias that came up. As you can see, they're beautiful. We've cut lots of flowers off of this patch already, and they just keep producing. So let you enjoy some of the color here. Again, these are all just volunteers from last year's patch that we had planted here. So really pretty. We enjoy the flowers more than we realized really that we would, but it's nice to come out here and see all this color, and it's really nice to pick a bouquet and keep on the counter. Over here on this side, I decided I would try to get some pickling cucumbers, because my pickling cucumbers in the big garden didn't really turn out this year. So over there along that edge, I planted a small row of pickling cucumbers, and I've got, I don't know, 7 or 8 plants there that are really starting to take off and grow. And hopefully this next week they'll start climbing. I put up a little trellis there for them to come up on, and then I planted a few more yellow squash. I planted 4 seeds. I got 3 that came up, and for all of you that know, those 3 plants are gonna more than consume this little bed, so I think that's plenty. I don't think I'll plant any more in there. Got one lone sunflower there that's come up, and we're gonna let that grow and see what it becomes. But I'm gonna baby those cucumbers and squash plants along. I may even put up some type of shade cloth here to help keep these things going, because we're pretty well in the dog days of summer right now, and everything's going to start burning up if it's not shaded or watered well. So as I've stated in videos in the past, that our tomato crop is nothing to be proud of this year, just mainly due to lack of time and effort. But you can see this is a big weed patch, and there's tomatoes down there. We've actually picked quite a few tomatoes. They're just laying everywhere. They didn't get caged or tied up, so a lot of the tomatoes are just laying on the ground. And of course, when that happens, they start rotting on the ground, or you have turtles that get into them, or the chickens peck holes in them. But the few plants that we do have cages around, you can see are starting to produce, and we've been picking a lot of tomatoes off of the, I don't know, 25 or so plants that are here and are caged. So we're enjoying those. Been giving some to some neighbors, and I've had a few people that insisted on paying something for their tomatoes because they're used to buying them from us. So we've done that. I've done some bartering with some friends who have beef cattle. We've traded out some produce for a few pounds of beef or different things like that. So it's nice to be able to do that. But probably not. I just picked tomatoes last night. That's the ones I showed you on the table there at the beginning of the video. So I don't know that there's going to be very many today to pick. We had as I showed in the last video, we had the tree that fell down. Wind took down a big tree limb here. Luckily it missed most of our garden, but this is what's left of that. I've already hauled off 2 trailer loads, but I finally got all of it cut up. So hopefully today I can get out here and get the rest of these limbs loaded and moved and hauled off, because it's just an eyesore and it's in the way. Not to mention I really need to get this space tilled up and cover crop or something planted back in there. But this is our cucumber patch. They're done pretty well. I mean, there's a few small cucumbers in here we could go down through and find, but they're pretty well through producing. The heat's starting to really play a toll on them, so more than likely going to pull these vines up and get this area all cleaned up. We've got a lot of grass to pick out before we can till, but I've got a few cucumber plants scattered here and there that I replanted. There's one right there, little cucumber plant. There's another one right over there. So I'm I'm gonna baby these along and keep them watered and see if I can't get a second round of cucumbers. I'm not a big fan of cucumbers, but my wife and one of my daughters, they absolutely love cucumbers. So if I can get another succession planting. Now there is 4 or 5 plants in that row. They're hard to see right now, but they are coming up. So we'll have some more cucumbers, hopefully, if I can keep them alive in this heat. And here's a row of okra. Again, really hard to see because of all the weeds and the grass. Not so much weeds over here, but mainly just crabgrass. I need to get in here and continue to pull out. But the okra, again, I haven't spent the time out here, so it's not the greatest, but it's starting to come on. I would expect it to start blooming and producing probably in the next week or 10 days. Right here is our zucchini. I think I'm down to like 2 plants here in this row, and they still are blooming a little bit, and I'm not having any squash bug issues, and I'm picking 2 or 3 zucchini a week. So I'm gonna just wait probably 1 more week on these plants unless they happen to die out on me before then. And then I'll pull them and get this row cleaned up. There is where the yellow squash was. I actually worked on this last night a little bit. You can see this row is somewhat cleared out now. I picked a bunch of grass out of it and pulled the old vines. There's our old squash vines. They were dying. They were through producing. So it's time to get them out, because at some point all they do is harbor pests. And I've still got 3 or 4 plants here that I left that are still looking really good, and they're still, like I said, blooming a little bit. Might be able to see there and down there. There's still a few blooms, which means they're going to produce a few more pieces for me. And again, I don't have any bug pressure really, so I'm going to leave them unless I see some bugs, squash bugs in there. Then at that point I'll go ahead and take them out and finish cleaning this row up. But anyway, today's agenda is just to kind of clean up some more grass, get it cleaned up a little bit, and may even try to run the tiller down a few of these passes. It's really dry. We need a rain. We missed a couple of good rains the last couple of days. It's that time of year where when it storms, these little pop-up storms come through, they can produce a really good rain, but you got to be in the right spot at the right time. And unfortunately, we haven't caught any of those rains this last week. So anyway, we're watering a little bit. I'm not watering anything, any of the existing plants that are producing. I've decided it's late enough in the summer. They've produced a lot, and I'm just going to let them kind of die out and get them pulled out. But these baby plants that I showed you, these few cucumber plants and the new squash plants that I have been watering them just by hand. I never even hooked up the header line on our drip irrigation, which is sad because I took all the time to lay all the drip tape. So all of these rows have drip tape under them, but I haven't used it one time this year. We've been fortunate enough to get pretty good rains, timely rains, to keep most everything going. And I've got one chicken out there that is going crazy. I don't know what she's doing, but she's loud. But anyway, and then these few tomato plants that I've got going, I've just been kind of hand watering them, which I'm fixing to do here this morning. I'm gonna put out I don't know, 10 or 15 gallons on these 20 or 30 plants here and give them a little drink. But you can see these plants, some of these plants are really loaded. They got a lot of green tomatoes on them, so we should still continue to get tomatoes for the next week or two, which is great because we really need to put up some salsa. We've been enjoying these tomatoes, eating several a day. We've had some good bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwiches, which is one of my favorite summertime staples. But we've been very fortunate to get what we've got, considering the year that we've had. And I know this video is not one of those glamorous shots of a well manicured garden, but this is real. I mean, sometimes this is the way it goes. If you don't put in the effort, if you don't have the time, you know, gardening takes a lot of time and a lot of effort. And for many of those who watch our videos, they know, because obviously you watch our videos because of what we do, and that means you're interested in it and you're doing it as well. And you know that gardening is a lot of work. And if you don't have the time to dedicate to manicuring and weeding and watering and fertilizing and just tending to the crops, then you know, 9 times out of 10, this is what's going to happen. You know, you're going to have weeds that are head high and taking over, and that just means more work. So, you know, eventually I'm going to have to get in here and get all this cleaned up. And you know, I'm dreading it. Of course I am, but it's all right. We're fortunate to have what we have, and I just wanted to put out a video. I appreciate you guys watching. We're going a little long now, and I'm just rambling, so I'm gonna end this video. We'll show you some more clips along the way of this succession planting of cucumbers and squash here that we got going in this bed. And we appreciate you watching our videos. Be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you haven't. Share it with someone you know enjoys gardening, and we'll just try to continue putting out some content for you along the way. Until next time, get dirty and grow some food.